Hello everyone, the Trickster's Afterlife has science and it has magic. By normal sanity, everything that exists or happens in the afterlife should be the result of one or both of these. However,
Anomalies!
Anomalies.
Anomalies!
Anomalies.
Anomalies!
Anomalies.
Google, my arch nemesis for all the times it's proven me wrong, gives two definitions for anomalies. The first is something that should be impossible under our current understanding of science, like my wife only existing when I don't take my normal pills. And the second is just anything that's weird or unusual, like how even with there being over 8 billion humans on Earth, literally none of them give a shit about you. For the sake of the fact that the afterlife seems to just run on different rules to our known universe, things like the existence of magic, spatial oddities like many places being bigger on the inside, time going faster in the afterlife than on Earth, gravity being kind of fucky, things appearing in the afterlife when they die, the existence of a guy here on Earth called Mr. Piss who rewinds time in the afterlife every time he takes a whiz, and other things explained by previous videos about the afterlife are assumed not to be anomalies. Anything that should be possible, even with all of that, is an anomaly. Baby tree grows babies in sack fruit when human blood is poured onto it. The amount of babies made is proportional to the blood poured onto the tree, but it breaks the law of conservation of matter by making a baby per drop of blood and not actually absorbing the blood poured onto it, as well as seeming not to actually photosynthesize like a normal plant. The babies are almost genetically identical to the person who provides the blood, except for mutations. Almost all of them die because of those mutations, cancer and deformities usually being among them. The babies in the sack fruit are normally ready to be born within less than 30 seconds of the blood being applied to the tree, and the birth consists of the sac just splitting open and letting the baby fall to the ground. If the baby dies from the fall, it dies from the fall. Slightly less fucked up among horrors beyond scientific comprehension, we have Behemoth Bloodstream. Bloodstream stands 1.5 miles tall, but unlike other titans, it doesn't use magic to avoid being crushed under its own weight, instead being able to be as big as it is seemingly just because it feels like it. Fuck you. More importantly, it does not eat, sleep, drink, and tissue samples show that it doesn't photosynthesize like other titans, and measuring its weight by the depth of its footprints doesn't indicate it being bigger on the inside or anything like that. Despite that, it is constantly ripping at its own flesh with its claws and teeth, and bleeding and healing from those cuts, but the supply of blood to bleed never seems to run out, continuing to flow in entire rivers down the behemoth's body and onto the ground it walks, slavering and flooding the land in its delicious, scrumptious blood. The third and final of the three unique anomalies in this video, I should clarify there are thousands which have already been discovered within the setting, is the Skyrobe. The Skyrobe hangs upwards from a tree as if affected in reverse by gravity. Now, there's nothing special about the material the rope is made from that should enable this to be the case, and the rope is so long that the only thing keeping it from going into space is a spatial anomaly around it, which makes the distance between the ground and space around the rope big enough for the rope to fit in there. Cutting the rope just results in the parts of it where you cut it growing in length to rejoin despite those parts shooting upwards, as well as the spatial anomaly around the rope increasing the amount by which space is compressed so that the rope still doesn't reach into space. Cutting down the tree that the rope is attached to made it rain trees for a week in the surrounding area, and at some point the trees and ropes somehow returned to normal while nobody was looking. Also, that tree rain killed hundreds of people because it started at night when people were sleeping in their homes, still less deadly than the average mother-in-law once she finds out how to make cyanide. Other anomalies might be elaborated on in future videos, but if you want more help getting the general gist, I suggest checking out the SCP Wiki. A lot of anomalies in the Trickster's Afterlife would fit pretty well among the Foundation's many SCPs. Secondly, another thing with anomalies within the Trickster's Afterlife is that many of them have means of self-repair or are in some way indestructible. Whether this is something about anomalies or simply a kind of natural selection where the ones which aren't indestructible end up being destroyed over time, and therefore over time you end up with only the indestructible ones being left, is unknown. And that's the end of the video, folks. Like and subscribe or I'll split open your skull and pour seawater in it while you're still alive. And don't forget to comment your reason for thinking Ohio is a threat to global security. They're going to kill us all and there's nothing we can do about it. The horror of Ohio. Ohio is coming. We're all gonna die.